Okay guys, hey, I'm back. This is video 5 of the E3 press responses. This is Nintendo, as you can obviously tell. Now, I have not actually prepared anything, so some of these statements or things I say may either be wrong or very general. But regardless, let's get started. Now, when this press conference when this press conference first began, Miyamoto came out and first a orchestra was playing classic Zelda tunes, which was actually kind of nice to listen to. Then Miyamoto came out and said that this year or next year, I don't remember, is The Legend of Zelda's 25th anniversary, as last year was Mario's. So they have special things in plan, like if you are the one of the first few people to register the Ocarina of Time, the remake for the DS, 3DS on Club Nintendo, you get a special Ocarina of Time soundtrack, which I'm hoping for. I'm hoping we get that, and uh, and there's going to be another CD of some kind for available for purchase. They didn't really expand on that much. They also said that they're planning on releasing a Zelda title for every system. They have obviously Skyward Sword for the Wii this Christmas, or it's Q4 2011. They have, what is it? Link to the Past for the 3DS, which is coming out or is already out. They have Four Swords Adventure on the DSi, DSware, whatever it's called, DSiWare store, which is actually pretty cool. So that's about it. I mean, it was. Whenever he's on stage, it's very awkward, it seems. I don't know what it is. I think he's just an awkward person. But it was kind of cool because he told the orchestra to play the like item getting music, like when you open a chest, it plays that music. And when it at the end it goes dun dun dun, dun or whatever, and you held up the item, and he did that. It's just really weird. But yeah, there was that. And then basically they went straight into the 3DS titles, which they showed Mario Kart, which I already knew about. Mario 3D platformer, I'm not exactly sure what they're calling it. They showed that. I think it's just going to be Super Mario. They showed that. They showed Kid Icarus, which looks to be very good. Um, there's 5 games, I think. They showed Luigi's Mansion 2, which is a completely new game, no rehash or anything, as far as I know. But they showed that, and then I feel like and Star Fox 64 3DS, which is a really confusing title if you don't know the original Star Fox 64 on the Nintendo 64, which is a very fun game. But they announced those few games. They showed videos from them. They showed some gameplay. And I'm actually very excited about Luigi's Mansion 3D because I've been dying to play a new Luigi-specific game, and I'm glad it's Luigi's Mansion because that was actually a very underappreciated game, I feel. It was a very good game. Everyone loved it that I knew, but I don't think it sold too incredibly well. Just because I guess Mario sells better is the ultimate is the underlying theme there. And then they showed just a few other Wii games. Like I think if I remember correctly, they showed some Skyward Sword stuff, which was pretty cool. I can't wait for that game. When they teased it back a few years ago, I was just like, just show me now. But yeah, alas, we have to wait a few more months until we get our hands on it. So at least Miyamoto said it is done. They are ready to release it. And then they went around and teased their new system for a little while. And eventually they got to the revealing part. And what they first, well, what it's called is the Wii U, which I'm not a big fan of the name. I wish they would have called it like the Nintendo U or U. Just U would have been. I'm fine with that, but Wii U is just a little much. So I might just call it the U. Let's play the U. or let's play the. I'll still probably still say Wii. I mean, I don't really. I mean, Wii just kind of rolls off the mouth, rolls off the tongue, rolls off the mouth. Whatever the saying is, roll off the tongue. But it's also that same thing back when Nintendo first announced, oh, it's the Wii. People are like, "Hoo, I want to play with my Wii." Yeah, the dick joke. Yeah, I know. I mean, they got crap for it, but look at them now. It's one of the best-selling systems ever, besides the DS, of course. But still, Wii U, interesting. I know what they were saying. They wanted to have you as the experience, which I totally agree with because I am not a huge multiplayer gamer. I play games for story and for art direction and all kinds of stuff. That's why I love BioShock and I love any RPGs really, because most RPGs are just very story driven. Assassin's Creed, Infamous, Uncharted. I mean, even though that has multiplayer aspect now, but they're all very fun games that have very great stories to them. I mean, yeah, that's just how I am. Zelda, Zelda's a great example. They have, well, I mean, their stories aren't great. They have really good stories though. To sometimes, sometimes. I didn't care for the story in Wind Waker too much, or Majora's Mask, to tell you the truth. See, Zelda games kind of ride on that whole mechanical implementation I can't speak. They ride on the whole like thing, like the Wii. They had the new Wii controller. Oh, look at this! Look what we can do! And the whole new Zelda thing for Ocarina of Time was, oh, it's in 3D. You play a 3D Zelda game, and something similar with Majora's Mask, but you had the whole mask idea. So, as much as story is revolved around that, I feel game mechanics are just as important in all the Zelda games. But that aside, they showed the Wii U, and they said, they didn't announce the price, but they said, we didn't design the system to be cheap, is basically what they said. I'm assuming, when it's first released, I'm assuming it's going to be at least 400. Yes, I'm going to say 400, simply because of what it is and what it offers. I mean, the system, graphically and processing power is, I believe, either equal to or a tad above the 360, and graphical prowess is actually just below or in between the 360 and PS3, which just blew my mind when I heard that, because they did like a little Zelda concept teaser. And if they make a Zelda like that, I would be the happiest person in the world. But anyway, that's kind of the general tech information I know about it. You can actually go to Wikipedia, and if you know specifics about GPUs and CPUs, you can look at that kind of stuff. But I don't really know. I know more specifics about CPUs, but not as much about GPUs. So they have all that stuff to figure out, or you guys can go figure that stuff out. But I'm not 100% sure on all that, so I'm not even gonna open open my mouth about it. But at first, I was very confused. Because they showed off the controller more than they did the system. And I actually had to go somewhere else to see what the system looked like in order to actually see. The system itself looks similar to a Wii, but imagine a Wii laying down, and I believe it has like a tray. It looks like a tray instead of just a slot, from the picture I saw at least. Imagine the Wii laying down flat with the slot down, the power button up, but the edges, the left and right, if you're looking at it straight, are like rounded almost. It's a little weird to see, but it's still very interesting design. Sticks with the whole Wii look. I mean, possibly you could stand it up, but I'm not 100% sure on that either. Because one, I haven't really put my hands on it, and I haven't been able to touch it and whatever, so can't really give you any idea as to what it exactly looks like. But the controller, on the other hand, looks freaking amazing. Now, how big this thing actually is, I'm not sure, because I wasn't there and I wasn't able to get hands-on with it, but it looked relatively bulky. And the reason I say that is because it has a screen on it. And the screen is actually pretty large, and that whole thing is their whole hook on it. It's a touch screen. It comes with a little. It comes with a little. It comes with a stylus, and it's just. It seems like a very very cool thing. It has the DS has the slider nub, not really nub, the slider pad. This has two slider pads, has two triggers on the back. They call it the ZL and ZR. Has the L and R button, so it's like L1 and L2 and R2 and like the Xbox triggers and the PS3 clickers, trigger things. I don't know what to call them on the PS3, but it has those, and then it has the basic A, B, X, Y buttons, D-pad, select start, home. It has all the stuff you need. But the thing that makes a screen most interesting is that, say if you're playing, let's say they announced New Super Mario Bros. Me, which means you can just play with your Miis. I don't know if it's going to be the same exact game. I'm assuming not. But you can play with your Miis along with Mario, Toad, Luigi, and all of them. But imagine if you're playing that by yourself or whatever, and you're just sitting there playing on this new controller, and your parents come in, or a sibling or a roommate if you have a roommate. They're like, hey, we want to watch TV, or I want to watch TV, and you'd be like, oh, before you'd have to be like, oh no, hang on, let me finish this level and save, and then we can figure out what we want to watch. Now you can actually be like, oh yeah, sure, go for it, and just somehow turn on the screen, or just flip the image to the screen and play the game on the controller, which is awesome. And will Microsoft and Sony copy this? If it sells well. I mean, that's all I can really say about that. If it sells well, they will copy it. I mean, that's just what they did with the motion control. At least Sony did with the motion controller. Can connect, similar idea, but different as well. So yeah, that's the controller in a nutshell. I mean, it's a lot more complicated than that, I'm sure. But you can also use your regular Wiimote nunchuck as well if you. I don't know if the controller comes with the system. I'm assuming it would. That's why I'm putting the price point so high. And I'm also assuming on the controller on its own is going to be anywhere from $75 to maybe $80, maybe even more. I'm not sure. I just know that the controller is not cheap, so don't be flinging those anywhere. But and also inside the controller there's a gyroscope and an accelerometer, gyroscope accelerometer. I don't know if they're the same thing, but they're similar in concept at least. I think accelerometer determines like for shaking, and gyroscope is for tilting and turning, which is pretty cool. I mean, they didn't really reveal any specific games. They did confirm that Darksiders 2 would be on the system, and they did tease like some other. I don't remember offhand what the other games were, but they did tease that those games would be on the system, which would be awesome. I would become a Nintendo fanboy all over again if they got that third-party support, which they desperately need because they're just driving the Wii with first-party games right now. Besides like Just Dance and crap like that. But that's basically all of Nintendo's press conference, is that they peaked at the announcement of the Wii U and they peaked and just coasted. I felt they didn't go down, they didn't go up, they just coasted all the way to the end. So overall, I felt that this press conference was pretty good. But yeah, I'll give my thoughts in a final 6th video where I give each press conference a grade. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching. This has been Nintendo Press Conference Response E3 2011, whatever. I'll see you guys later.